There is a wonderful little story that I came across. It's an old story, and you may have heard of it. It's a story about a guy that's driving down the street in his truck, and he pulls up to a stoplight. He gets out of the truck, takes a baseball bat and beats against the side of the truck, and gets back in, and when the light turns, off he goes again. And this fella following him, and he notices that this fella does this guy in the truck does this every stoplight that he comes to. And finally he can't resist anymore, so he goes up to him at one of the stoplights. He gets out of his car, he goes up, and he says, "Say, I noticed you get out of the truck and you beat on the side of the truck. And what is all that about?" He says, "Oh, there's nothing greatly mysterious about this. It's just that, you see, this is a 1-ton truck, and I have 2 tons of canaries in it. And in order to be able to carry this load, I want to stir them all up so they're flying. And I do that every time I come to a stop sign." Well, now, I thought, isn't that a wonderful metaphor for our lives? For the way that many of us tend to live our lives, where we carry around some kind of an extra burden, and we do something to stir things up, to distract ourselves is really the way it ultimately works out, or things in order to try to lighten the burden on us, only to create more disturbance, more avoidance, and so on. And some of you say, "Oh, well, yeah, it's not a good metaphor." Well, maybe it isn't, but have you ever known anybody who went out and got a nice new credit card with a high credit limit on it so they could get the cash to pay off the other credit card? No, none of you have you? But people live their lives like this, and what I'm talking about is being distracted by things going on in our life to which we get so attached, and the next thing you know, it kind of becomes sort of a self-perpetuating thing, like a dog chasing his tail, which reminds me of another little old legend. And this is this old dog, and he's observing this young puppy, and the puppy's going round and round and round and round in circles. And finally the old dog goes over and he says, "Son, what are you doing?" The puppy looks at him and he says, "I'm chasing my tail." He said, "Well, why are you doing that?" He says, "Because I have discovered that happiness is my tail, and I'm going to catch it." And so the old dog thinks about this and walks away. Should I talk to him? And he finally goes back and he says, "Son, stop it. Just stop it. I want to tell you something." He says, "I too, when I was a young pup, saw my tail as happiness. And I too was chasing it. And then I learned, as time went on, that as I chased it, I could never catch it. But when I went about the business of the day, it followed me everywhere I went." What a metaphor! When I went about the business of the day, there was my happiness with me all the time.